Motorhead Garage, the program that each week introduces you to and shows you how to install the latest in exciting and innovative products for your vehicle. Now here's your host, Dave Dobson.
Hey Motorheads, if you head to the Motorhead Garage YouTube channel, yes, you'll find a ton of past episodes of Motorhead Garage, but you'll also find some other great series we produced here at Masters Entertainment Group. One of our favorites is called Brand New Muscle Car, and the guys at Brand New Muscle Car build incredible resto mods, and those are cars that look just like vintage 1960s and 70s muscle cars, but they're built on modern chassis. They look old, but they drive like a brand new car. In this case, a 67 Ford Mustang. Now our look at the Brand New Muscle Car TV series starts with a history lesson on the Mustang.
I'm Matt Anderson, Curator of Transportation here at the Henry Ford. One of the most popular cars in our collection is a 1965 Ford Mustang, serial number 1. So the first Mustang assigned a vehicle identification number. And that car, of course, is really where it all began for Mustang, a brand that is still very active today, 60 years later, and a car that was unlike anything else at the time it was introduced. It was sporty. It was also economical in terms of its price. It was customizable. You could buy any number of accessories for it. And it really was the first car targeted at the baby boom generation who were just starting to get into their teens and kind of come of age in that period in the mid-1960s. So it represents a sea change in automotive design and marketing. There were a couple of trends that influenced the Mustang very much when it was introduced in 1964. One was that cars still tended to be in kind of a one-size-fits-all category, right? You could get, the entry-level series, the mid-level, or the top-of-the-line car, but they were still the same basic car, just had more bells and whistles, more chrome, more trim, the higher up the price line you went. It started to change in the late 50s, certainly in 1960, with the introduction of compact cars from each of the big three. Ford introduced the Falcon in 1960, and maybe more than anything, the Falcon is the car that paved the path for the Ford Mustang. The big breakthrough in designing the Mustang, there was concern about the cost. It would be something like $400 million to design a completely new car from the ground up. Not only do you have to come up with the design, you have to come up with all the new manufacturing tooling, etc., to build this completely new car. But it was Hal Sperlich who came up with the idea of, what if we just put a different body on the Falcon? The Falcon was roughly the size and proportion they were looking for this sporty new car. And then you can reuse the engine, you can reuse the chassis, you can reuse a lot of the parts. You look in those first Mustangs, the dashboard, the controls are identical to what you would have found at a Ford Falcon at the same time. So that was the real breakthrough that allowed the Mustang to be the success that it was.
This was state-of-the-art in 1965. Things have really changed in the last 55 years, and we'll show you what the new state-of-the-art looks like. All right, this is what we're going to replace that with. This is what's called a coilover shock. Instead of having a separate coil spring and a separate shock, this is all one unit. This shock here from Verishock has an adjustment here at the bottom. I've already greased the threads. This is very important. You don't want to put this together with no lube. So we're going to start hanging this stuff on the car now. I usually put the bottom in first, and with any suspension component, you always want to use grade 8 bolts like we're doing here. Another great tip, nylock nuts. These things are great. You don't have to over torque anything. They don't come loose on their own. You screw that on just like that, and then we'll torque it down. Always start your hardware by hand. That way you don't cross-thread it. Then you're going to the store, get another bolt. Save yourself some time and heartache. All right, next thing we're going to put on, spindle. First we started on the lower ball joint, then the upper. These are castle nuts. If you've ever played chess, you'll know what the chess piece looks like. It looks like a castle. It has all these slots in here, and I'll show you why once we put it on the car. Most lower ball joints take a ball joint spacer and a washer, grade 8 of course, your castle nut, start those on by hand, start the bottom, start the top. When you tighten these castle nuts, always have that hole aligned where you can get to it easy enough to put your cotter pin in. Now we're going to bend this over to where it can't come out. It's time to do the upper now. Do the same thing. We'll tighten this down until our hole lines up in the ball joint, and we'll put our cotter pin in. The next thing we'll put on will be the brake caliper adapter bracket, and the rotor, the caliper, and then the pad.
Hey, if we caught your interest, just go to the Motorhead Garage YouTube channel for the brand new muscle car series, Motorhead Garage, and a whole lot more. And we have a whole lot more still to come on this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products, including a great tech tip from the professor, John Gardner. We'll be right back. Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products, brought to you by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics. Advanced clutch technology, powered by Action. And by Steel Rubber Products. Get your ride sealed with steel.
Transmission fluid, oil filters, all types of oil, brake fluids, fuel system products, octane boosters, differential products, cleaning products, UTV, ATV, V-twin oil, you name it, AMSOIL has you covered. Welcome to this AMSOIL Tech Tip. Now that's some awesome AMSOIL products, but even more awesome, we love our fans, man. Thank you for the comments, the concerns, everything that's going on. And Greg actually asked one of the questions. He says, hey, how can we store a vehicle? Great question, Craig, and we have the answer for you. Whether it's a carbureted car, throttle body injection, multi-port injection, direct injection, Len, when we store a car, what happens to the fuel?
Well, ultimately, if you leave it long enough, it's going to go bad.
Why?
Well, it actually oxidizes. You've heard us talk about oil oxidizing. Fuel can do the same thing, and that's when the light ends kind of fly away. Bad things start to happen is really the simplest way of saying it.
Yeah, and that's what happened here. This is a fuel pump that we actually had in a tank. We stored the car really not too long, but we didn't use any AMSOIL products. Big mistake. Here's the deal. I got the hose here all deteriorated, the hoses, the pressure sensor here, and then look under here. I mean, it's flaking away. This is actually fuel damage. Len, how can I avoid this problem?
Well, you can treat the fuel. That's going to be the key piece.
Now, what do we treat it with, and what about different equipment? Can I use it in everything?
Sure. We've got an answer that's generic and simple for once. It's not complex. At AMSOIL, we've got a couple fuel additives that are designed specifically for storage, and that is AMSOIL QuickShot. That's our primary recommendation for your classic cars, for your power sports equipment. We actually have a stabilizer as well, again, recommended across the board for everything.
Now, I was always told if I store my car, it's a good idea to change the fluids. Is that true?
Yes, and the way that works is this. We generally recommend that you change the oil on something, whether it's power sports or whether it's a car, when it goes into storage. Because as you know, and we've discussed before, blow-by can get into that oil and it turns the oil acidic, and you wouldn't want to put it in storage when the oil is acidic, because that can be bad for bearings. So we recommend you change it before it goes in. Or if you're already using our Z-Rod product, we understand that customer isn't going to put a pile of miles on those vehicles, so we actually have a 2-year, 5,000-mile drain interval on that oil.
Nice. Greg, I hope that answers your question. You know, all of our viewers, please keep those questions, comments, and even concerns coming. We love to hear from you. And if you want to go to see any of those great products that you saw at the opening of this segment, just go to amsoil.com.
My name is Charles Leopard. This is my 1978 J10 Jeep, Golden Eagle. My dad purchased the Jeep in 1980, and we've had it ever since. Dad passed away about 23 years ago. We cleaned the Jeep up 15 years ago. You can't replace Dad. Dad's gone. Dad was the key fixture of our family. He was the man. And you drive the truck, Dad's in there with you. You appreciate that. Our family, everybody grew up in the truck. Every one of my nephews, my sisters, we all learned to drive straight drives in this truck. It's just part of the family. And to be able to put it back and still drive it around and enjoy it, it's been worth every bit of it. It's a farm truck. It was a mess. New bed, we just had to do a frame off restoration. It was pretty poor shape. We had to take 3 beds because you can buy no sheet metal for the trucks anymore. Use the best of the three, build a bed. A lot of machine, a lot of work on the body, but everything else is original. The drivetrain transmission is the only thing that has not been touched. It's bulletproof, hasn't had any issues. And we've gone completely through the engine, just making it fresh, cleaning it up. I have done 100% of it other than the paint work. And Bobby G, Paint and Body, in Traveler Trest, he's my paint guy. It's been painted 15 years now, and he is still the best painter in the world. It's the original acrylic enamel paint that's been polished, it's been worked on, but there's no clear on the truck, none whatsoever. To us, it's a family piece. It has been since 1980. Our grandkids will be the 4th generation owner of it. So we're gonna try to keep it shined up and let them ride it.
Up next, a custom shop that can build you the hot rod of your dreams or restore the one you already love. When Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products, returns.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products.
Think about this as you get ready to store your classic car, your RV, your boat, your motorcycle for the winter months. A single chewed wire can cost you hundreds of dollars, and if you're talking 2 wires, well, you're into the thousands. Or you could spend a fraction of that on Mouse Blocker. Mouse Blocker is the ultrasonic deterrent that keeps mice away before they start chewing. No traps, no poison. Just plug it in and relax until spring. Mouse Blocker makes it easy to protect the vehicle you love for less than the cost of one repair bill. So it's your call. One Mouse Blocker device or one giant repair bill. The choice is yours. I'm going to choose Mouse Blocker every time. If you want to get the hot rod of your dreams like this 1969 Camaro, anything you can possibly imagine, you've got lots of places you can go to get your car built. But if you go to Flatwood Customs, Daniel, you're going to get a car that's unique. You're going to get something that's different from what other people are doing. Why should they come to Flatwood Customs?
A couple reasons. One would be if you want a show car, a trailer queen, we could do that. That's not what we specialize in. We specialize in trailer queens that are actually drivable. Drivability is everything, and most guys spend this kind of money, and they really want to be able to drive these cars.
It seems tragic to spend a bunch of money and then not be able to drive your car.
It's heartbreaking.
Yes, so you can take a car like this, go win the show, and then drive it home.
Absolutely.
Not have to throw it on the trailer.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about this Camaro in particular.
Okay.
This is a customer build you had. Starting with the engine here, what have you done with it?
It's a LS3 crate motor, 495 horse from GM Performance, coupled up with a 6L80 Supermatic transmission. It puts out a lot of power. It's got a nice cam in it.
And it's got a nice cam, but it's not too much. It's
Not too much.
Drivable.
Yep.
And that goes along with the suspension as well. You've done some things to make this thing more streetable, more drivable.
Absolutely. It's got tubular control arms, full coilover suspension, ride tech, as well as 4-link in the rear and coilovers.
And what do you find with the 4-link? How does that make handling a lot better, especially with a car making this much power?
Creates more travel and movability in the rear. It's a more modern feel in the rear. Yes, sir.
The interior jumps out at me on this car
Yep.
as well. It's really a looker there on the inside.
Yep.
What have you done there?
It's a TMI upholstery kit. You can purchase those online through TMI. A lot of color options. We went with a gray on gray with this one. Distressed leather and suede, and it really kind of tied everything together.
And I love the paint color on this. Was that chosen by the customer?
It was, yes. He used to have a Porsche, and it was that color gray, and that's what he wanted. Yes, sir.
What sort of things do you do there in-house at Flatwood Customs? You're in South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, what things do you do there at the shop?
Everything but engine machine work and upholstery.
Typically, if someone's got a vision, how do they get it to you? Or if they want a car and they don't know what they want, how does that all work out?
Usually they just give you a wish list of the things they want, and then show you pictures of cars they like online, and you can usually kind of put something together. Sometimes they trust you just to make judgment, as long as the things that were on their wish list is on the car. Yeah.
How much back and forth is there?
A
How
lot.
many ideas? Yeah, ideas that come from them and then ideas that come from you.
It's a lot. They have an idea and then they're open to suggestions, and then sometimes we just make those changes that maybe it's not the right choice of wheel or stance or color upholstery, there's things like that sometimes we'll kind of help them make the right decision.
I've used the word customer, but this is really somebody you're developing a relationship with, someone who you're developing a friendship with, and how does that benefit them and benefit you when you're building a car like this?
Tremendously. It's really, some of our best builds have come from relationships with customers where they really trusted us, and the end result was just great. It's everything when they trust you and you trust them. But yeah, that's the biggest part of when you make a commitment like that.
What does it say about your team at Flatwood Customs when people have gotten a build from you and they come back to get another one?
It's a big boost of encouragement. That means that we've done our job. You know, the customer's happy, and it's awesome when you can build another one for them. It's awesome.
How important is it for you to have such a good team assembled to get all this done?
It's everything, because there's no one-man show. It takes leaders in every department to try to see the job through it and make sure that it gets done right, and everyone has to work together.
If you're looking for a classic car build or restoration, Flatwood Customs can do an amazing job for you. Find them at Facebook and on Instagram. Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products, comes back in a moment. And if you want to get better performance and longer life from your car, you'll want to come back and join us too. Motorhead Garage, presented by Steel Rubber Products, brought to you by Trailer Alarms, security in an instant. Resin Works, overachievement underfoot. And by Mag High Tech. Depend on Mag High Tech when you're pulling a heavy load. Now, whether you have a vehicle like this magnificent 1970 Chevelle owned by Mark Honeycutt, or just a daily driver, you know you want your car to last a long, long time. The car's your baby. You want it to perform better and be more efficient while you're driving it, and that is where ProLube enters the picture. Now, first here, Eli, we want to talk about ProLube's heritage because it was tried and tested early on in a really tough environment. How did ProLube get its start?
Yeah, absolutely. So my grandfather, Paul Wireman, he started Riverside Drag Strip and Speedway back in 1960s, and it lasted to about the 70s.
It's up in Ohio.
Up in Ohio, yes, sir. And he had his start in racing, early 20-year-old, and then he went up to racing street stocks and that sort of thing. So racing has always been in our family and has always been a part of what we do.
And that is where he developed lubricants that he was able to field test there in the motorsports world, and later on then servicing actual passenger vehicles as well.
Yep. So he owned a auto center where they worked on vehicles all the time, and they just were trying to find ways to enhance vehicles' performance and prevent them from breaking down.
And before we go any further, every time someone sees an oil additive or an engine additive, they say it's snake oil. So what do you say, Eli, to the folks that come right out and say, oh, that's got to be snake oil? What do you tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. Every time we hear somebody that says that, we just simply say, don't be shy, give us a try.
I looked at your website, and there's a bunch of reviews from real people that use ProLube, and the first thing a lot of them say is, this is not snake oil, it really works. So when you're using your oil additive there, what kind of results can folks expect from ProLube?
Yeah, exactly. So our main oil additive is going to be the ProLube oil treatment, and what really makes it different from everything else is it's an actual metal conditioner. So it has friction modifiers, additives built into it, and it's going to condition the metal of the internals of your engine. So it's not just going to be a regular, petroleum-based additive like that.
It's not just for your engine oil. Where else can you use it?
That's exactly right. So what makes this product different is that you can also use it not only in your engine, but your transmission, gearbox, power steering pump, and differentials.
And how much do you need then when you're using it?
Yeah, so what a lot of people are accustomed to with the oil additive market is that you have to use an entire quart in your motor. With our product, that's not the case. So we have all of our directions on the back for all of the components that you can use our product in and the treatment ratios. So the most simple one that we have is 2 ounces of ProLube per quart of motor oil.
And you have plenty left over for the rest of the vehicle.
Yeah.
And you guys make it easy too, because you sell the cup with the ounces right on it. Why?
Yep. So we've been getting a lot of calls into the shop about people's wives calling us pretty upset. They're like, hey, my husband's been using my glass measuring cup out of the kitchen, and I want to get him something that, he can get dirty. So we're like, okay, let's come out with a measuring cup.
All right, guys, so this will save your engine and this will save your marriage. Just remember that. You got some other stuff here on the table. This is for air tools. Of course, those need to be lubricated as well. How do you use that, and how much do you need to use?
Yeah, so air tools, as you know, use very little. So just every time you use your air tool, just put a couple drops in there, and that also has our metal conditioning friction modifier additives built into that as well.
We've seen that with the engine oil additive, and then here with the air tool lubricant, it's going to last a long, long time.
Absolutely, yeah. So with our products, what we really pride ourselves on is a little bit goes a long way.
All right, and then on to the grease here. This is not just a typical grease, the red sticky stuff you see all the time. How is it different?
So first off, right off the bat, if you feel the texture of it, it's going to be a lot more slick. And that's due to our metal conditioners that we add to the red lithium high temp grease. And what it makes that do is, instead of just a traditional grease where you have to replace it, you know, maybe every 2 to 3 weeks, this grease will last twice, sometimes even 3 times longer.
You listen a lot. We talked about the cups, and that was kind of a funny story, but you listen a lot to your customers. And what do they have to say, and what kind of changes do you make based on what they tell you?
Yeah, so the feedback has been very great. A lot of them report that a lot smoother operation in their vehicle and that their oil change intervals are lasting a lot longer.
Very cool. That's exactly what you're going for.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah, you were started over 40 years ago by your grandfather, and the company is still family owned and it's still very small.
Yes.
Why is that important to you, to still remain that way and stay true to your heritage?
Yeah, the main reason is because we want to keep the quality of our product the same, and we want to make sure that, you know, if all of our hands are on it and touching it, that we can make sure that the quality is going to be the best that it can possibly be. And if there's ever an issue, we know exactly what happened, how to fix it, and make it right with the customers.
Well, it's insurance for a new vehicle. It'll keep your older vehicle running smooth for a long, long time. You can find it at prolubeoil.com and see what this is all about. Try it for yourself. As I mentioned earlier, you can catch previous episodes of Motorhead Garage on our YouTube page and everywhere you stream TV shows and videos. And don't forget the brand new Muscle Car series as well. See you in 7 days for another edition of Motorhead Garage presented by Steel Rubber Products. Drive safely.